Hi, and welcome to the next RPG Tools tutorial. This time I will talk about game animations. Game animations can be used if you use RPG Tools as your engine. So you have the existing animations which you can export to any engine you want, but if you use RPG Tools, then it might make sense for you to use game animations, which allow you to define some additional properties for each animation. And game animations are stored for each character. They are optional, so by default, the character will use the settings you see here. So when you open a character, then you can see the speed here, the playback speed, for example, or the loop type, if it's loop back and forth or not. Depending on the animation, you can check which one looks better. But all these settings aren't saved. But if you want to change these, then you can use game animations. And besides that, they also have some additional properties I will show you in a minute. So for this tutorial, we will create a new character. I'm currently using the content package here, but that doesn't matter that much. You can use any unit you want. So let's use the goblin, for example. So I choose the goblin as the unit. And now we can take a look at the walk animation. And for example, if you think it's too slow, you can change that using a game animation. So here you see all the frames this animation has. And here you can see a create button if you didn't create a game animation yet. So we will create one. And now we have a game animation with the default settings. So that's the playback speed. So how long does one frame take in seconds? So 0.3. So if we say it's too slow, then let's try 0.2 or even 0.1. If it's a fast goblin, maybe 0.15. Yeah, and we save this character, of course. Let's custom goblin 01. Yeah, and here you can change if it's played back and forth or not. So by default, it will play all the frames in a row and then start with the first frame again. But if you check play back and forth, then it will be played from start to end and then from end to start. So yeah, depending on the animation, that looks better in a few cases. So that's the main use case. And of course, that's straightforward. The other main use case is to use it for attack or cast animations or to add sound effects. So let's use an attack animation as an example. So we use attack 1. We will also create the animation, can change the speed, but I think it's fine. And for the attack, it's important when the attack should be triggered. By default, the attack is triggered at the end of the animation, so when this frame is done, so in this case after 0.9 seconds, which is too late in most of the cases, because it should already happen here most possibly, or even somewhere between that. And for that, there are some event types, so you can create events. Let's create one here by clicking on the plus icon. And oh, I just noticed that there is a delete button missing, but I will add that quickly afterwards. But we can ignore this for this tutorial. So there are a couple of different event types. One is effect, so you can add a particle effect, for example. And you can change the type here. So you can have particle effects or sounds, or you can trigger the attack, or you can trigger the cast action, which only makes sense if it's used in the cast state or in the cast animation. And for effects, you can use the built-in particle system, which is very simple, or effects here, or Dragon Bones. And yeah, here we just want to set the attack frame for now. And you can, for that, you need to set the time. You can either do that here using the slider. And as you can see, it also moves the event here in this view. Let's make this a bit bigger. So that's much better to see. So, and you can also just drag it here. So, and now we have much more control when the attack happens. So we can say the attack happens here, for example. And for the effect, yeah, this could be a sound effect. So the attack effect, or the attack effect is usually configured in the weapon, but the goblin doesn't have a weapon, or we don't attach a weapon in data. So here we could add the attack sound. And yeah, you can choose any attack sound. I'm not sure if we have a good one here. Yeah, there are some dagger sounds, for example. But yeah, for this tutorial, it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, and then you can save everything. And you can try it in the level editor. So you can switch to level editor. And I still have my test level opened from the last tutorial. We can just use that. So let's select the correct layer, the house layer in this case, and click on Add Unit. In this case, we want to use a character. So when we use a unit, you see all the units, but they will just use the default settings. So they won't have any game animations. But since we created a character, it should appear here. And then we can place it. We should set the team if he should attack us. So we set it to enemy. And that should be it. And then we can try it. Yeah. I guess you hear the sound. The wolves are from the last tutorials. That's from the spawn tutorial. But yeah, that's how it works. You can play around with effects, or maybe we can add one. Yeah, that might make sense for this tutorial. So we add a new event. And okay, effect was already correct. In this case, we can use the built-in particle and choose the hit effect. And that should be triggered. That should be triggered here. Try that again by pressing F5 in the level editor. So now you see the effect here. Not the nicest effect, but you can also use effects here or Dragon Bones, as I said. So let's quickly choose something like that. An explosion sound, an explosion effect. That didn't work because I didn't save, I think. Let's try again. Yeah, okay. Yep, that's how it works. So have fun with that and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for listening. See you next time.